Continuing on with our factoring, moving on to factoring trinomials where your a value is a 1. So, reminder, a polynomial with 3 terms is what we refer to as a trinomial. So ax squared plus bx plus c, this is our standard form. So when I say that your a equals a 1, that means right here our coefficient on your x squared or your y squared or your c squared, whatever letter they're using as their variable, that coefficient on that first leading term is a 1. So those are the ones that we're going to be looking at today, because yes, we will have some that are not 1, but we're going to save that for another day. We're going to focus right now on the ones where your leading coefficient is a 1. So if we took a look at our example here, x squared plus 6x plus 8, we're trying to factor that polynomial, that trinomial right now. Remember, factoring means we're just trying to break it apart so that we can try to solve to figure out what our answers are going to be. So step 1 is you list the factors of c. So if you look at our standard form again, c is that last term. So for this example, we're looking at the 8, and we need to find all of the factors of 8. So what multiplies to give us an 8? So we got 1 times 8, and we got 2 times 4. Those are our factors of 8. So step 2 says find the factors of c that add or subtract to give you b. So again, looking up here at our standard form, b is that value in front of your x, which is your middle term. So in this case, it's a 6. So we're looking for which set of factors up here will add to give us a 6. 1 times 8, if I add those, that's going to give me a 9. That's not going to do it. 2 and 4, that's going to add up to give us a 6. So we want to narrow it down to, we're going to use 2 and 4. So step 3, we're going to do 2 sets of parentheses like we were doing last class with our dots factoring. Because this is a positive 8 at the end here and we have a positive sign there, both of our factors, and we're going to talk about that more as we go along. Those signs help you figure out which factors you're going to end up using. But for this one, x plus 2 times x plus 4, those end up being our factors. And again, we would check by distributing. So x times x is x squared. X times 4 is 4x. 2 times x is 2x. 2 times 4 is 8. And then when we add these two together, there's our 6x. So it checks out. We did it correctly. So that's what our process is going to be. We're going to list the factors of the last term, see which ones add to give you the middle term, and then write our factors out. So looking at example number 1 here, we got to figure out the factors of 27. Well, we got 1 times 27, 3 times 9, and then that's going to be it. We don't have any other choices after that. So I'm going to set up my parentheses here. So our signs, we have a positive 27. So our numbers have to multiply to give us a positive 27, which means they're either both positive or they're both negative. This sign here tells me they're both going to be positive because they also have to add to be 12. So if I do 1 plus 27, I don't get 12, I get 28, so it's not those. 3 plus 9, there's my 12. So I'm going to put plus 3 and plus 9. I always like to tell kids to check using little smile, big smile. Check with little smile. And big smile. So what I mean by that is we don't need to check all of the terms here. I know x times x is going to give me my x squared. That's why I wrote them. I know 3 times 9 gives me my 27 because those were my list of factors. I just want to check to make sure I got the correct middle term of 12x. So little smile means I'm multiplying these two terms together. So positive 3 times x gives me a positive 3x. Big smile means I'm multiplying those two outside terms. X times positive 9 is positive 9x. Add those together. There's my 12x, which is what my middle term was. So you can even shorten down your check a little bit and just do what we call big smile and little smile. Or little smile and big smile. That order doesn't matter. If I take a look at number 2 over here, though, my signs are different from the other 2 examples we've done. I have 2 subtraction signs, and no, that doesn't just mean that I'm going to have 2 subtraction signs when I factor, unfortunately. It doesn't always work that way. So I'm looking for factors of negative 20. We'll stick with 20 for now. We're looking for factors of 20. So I got 1 times 20, 2 times 10, 4 times 5. Now, because this was a negative 20, I'm looking for numbers that subtract to give me a negative 1. Remember, if there's no coefficient written, it's a 1. So we're looking for numbers that subtract to give me a negative 1. If I do 1 minus 20, I get negative 19. If I do it the other way, 20 minus negative 1, I get positive 19, so it's not going to be those. 2 minus 10 would be negative 8. 10 minus 2 would be positive 8. Not going to be those. 4 minus 5, that's going to give me my negative 1. So because I have to do 4 minus 5, I'm going to make my 4 positive and my 5 negative. So that when I do my check of big smile, little smile, I get a positive 4x when I multiply my little smile, negative 5x when I multiply my big smile. So 4x minus 5x, there's our negative 1x. So we have the right factors there. All right, taking a look at number 3, we're looking for factors of 30. That's 1 and 30, 2 and 15, 3 and 10, 5 and 6. Looking at the signs of my trinomial, they're both positive. So this one, when I factor, both my factors will be x plus. So I'm looking for 2 that add to give me 11. 1 plus 30, that's going to give me 31. 2 plus 15 is 17. 3 plus 10 is 13. 5 plus 6, there's my 11. So 5 plus 6. And again, check little smile gives me a positive 5x. Big smile is a positive 6x. Add those together, you get a positive 11x. So we did it correctly. 4 factors of 16. So 1 times 16, 2 times 8, 4 times 4. So we're looking for factors of 16 that will subtract to give us 6. All right, we'll go through my choices. 1 minus 16 is negative 15. And if I do 16 minus 1, I get positive 15, so that's not going to be it. 2 minus 8 would be negative 6. I'm almost there. If I go the other way, 8 minus 2, there's my positive 6. So I want to have a positive 8 and a negative 2 because I want to do 8 minus 2 for that middle term there. So little smile would be positive 8x, big smile would be negative 2x. Add those together, you get positive 6. Okay. Next one, again, factors of 27. That's 1 and 27. 3 and 9, so not very many choices here for 27, so that one's kind of a nice one. So we're looking for factors of 27 that add to negative 13. So the only way we're going to add to give us a negative number is both of these would have to be negative, because negative plus negative is negative. Negative times negative is positive, so that's how it ends up working out. So negative 1 plus negative 27, that's going to give me negative 28. Negative 3 plus negative 9, that would give me negative 12. But I want a negative 13. So this one actually cannot be factored. This one is a prime trinomial. We can't factor it. We can't break it down any further. All right, last one on this page. Factors of 9 would be 1 and 9, 3 and 3. We want them to add to be -6. So again, I would want two negative numbers. So -1 plus -9 is not going to give me -6. But -3 plus -3 will. So I want x minus 3 and then x minus 3. For our check, again, just to show you where that -6x comes from, little smile would be -3x. Big smile would also be -3x. Add those together and you get your -6x. So that's where those come from. So I want you to go try to do some of the other ones on the next page and then check in with me so I can see how you're doing.